Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about who else? Donald Trump and Jack Smith, and a breathless report from CNN and others saying new glimpse into documents case suggests a fateful new reckoning is looming over Trump. And I don't mean to, you may detect a tinge of sarcasm. It's only because it's just the latest in a whole series of discoveries or educated surmises about what Smith is learning and where he's going. And this one is of a piece. It's pretty important, but it goes to, as so much does, a decimation of Trump's suggestions that he didn't have knowledge, and in particular his claims launched most recently last week at the CNN town hall that he has no guilty intent because as president he can just declassify anything he wants, etc. So the big news, there's a few little points that come from the Smith investigation, but the big news is that the National Archives, and remember, they're the ones who the whole thing started with 16 months of Trump and his representatives kind of dicking them around. That's, I think, would be the legal term, and not giving them the documents that they requested, and giving them real back of the hand treatment. So here's the archives. The big news is 16 documents they're providing to the DOJ and therefore to Smith that put the lie to Trump's notion that he could declassify everything. We don't know precisely what they say, but per the National Archives, they all reflect communications involving close presidential advisors and concerning whether, why, and how you should declassify certain classified records. So, in other words, it's going to be pretty clear that people like Cipollone or Philbin or the lawyers who know it, the issue came up and they told him in no uncertain terms that the theories he's currently today trying to propound don't fly at all. And let him continue to say it. They don't fly at all. We know that as a legal matter. The only relevance to them is if they somehow could form a defense that he was in good faith because he truly believed it. But if person after person is telling him that it's not true, it makes the claim that he really believed it all the harder. And one more lesson. I've been pounding this drum for a while, but the Gene Carroll case really brought it home. How's he going to make this case that he really thought it? He's not going to get an expert who's going to be able to come up there and say this is how you declassify, or at least not one who wouldn't be cross-examined to shreds. The obvious way for him to show that he was innocent because he truly believed it would be for him to testify. And, we've talked about it before. I don't think the rules change, even if his liberty is at stake. He can't testify. The consequences of his testifying would be, an absolute debacle for him, and not to mention probably several counts of perjury. So when he says something like this, you're going to have the United States, he says it outside at CNN, but you're going to have the United States come forward with document after document and witness after witness saying, oh yeah, we told the president, of course you can't do it this way. Of course there are rules. Of course this is what you have to follow. And it'll be essentially unanswered because the way to answer it would be by his saying it. And I don't think he's going to. So, he says at CNN town hall, by the way, they become automatically declassified when I took them. No one's going to testify that that's accurate, and I don't think he's going to testify that it's what he truly believed. Moreover, by the way, in the wake of the town hall, I think CNN has 18 former top Trump administration officials saying they never heard of anything like this, and the claim was ludicrous and ridiculous. These are his top advisors. So the notion that there's a standing order to declassify will be blown out of the water. Okay, so now back to the breathless headline, fateful new reckoning is looming over Trump. Look, it's another step, but we've had now 20, and the big thing is each of them makes the idea that Smith would back away from the whole case more and more and more remote. The evidence is overwhelming as to guilty knowledge. This adds to the pile, but I think we're already well past the threshold for bringing charges, including a determination of the Department of Justice that they are likely to convict because a jury is likely to find that, in fact, he knew that what he was doing was against the law. So this is just one more point. But it again shows we're, close to an end game here on Mar-a-Lago. Smith is making a more and more airtight case that in particular shows that Trump, of course, knew that what he was doing was unlawful, both when he took them and even more clearly when he refused to give them back. So the evidence itself is important, but of a piece with a lot that we already have. And yes, to the extent you want to package it as a showing that it won't be long now, I think it's fair. But, there's long and there's long. There's going to be many loose ends for Smith to tie up. And of course, the ultimate decision will go to Garland, who I think will make quick work of approving what Smith recommends. But there's, we are in an end game, but the actual duration of that end game is a little hard to predict. But the mountain of evidence grows higher and higher, and the fateful new reckoning is looming over Trump. Well, fateful reckoning is looming over him. I don't know if I'd call it new or not, but important to follow things as they lead. Okay, so one more big step, nail in the coffin, you could say, and in further indication that charges will be coming, and relatively speaking, soon. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.